So this motor's all crooked because there's no intake on it. I got the chain all funny. So, hey, you know what? If you want to watch something funny, go get some chips and some Coke or some coffee or whatever you're doing. Watch me struggle. It'll be fun. Really? So I say, hey, I'm gonna struggle, and the bolt just goes in. Well, it's only side one, but hey, at least it's stable now. So I'm going to try to tighten these all up and see where that brings me, because it is tilting the mount back a little bit. So I'm going to get these tightened up, and then we'll get back into the video here. But I have all the bolts in, but we need just to do some adjustment. All right, we're at about 2.5 degrees tilted for the engine. Usually around 3 is what you want. And what I'll do is, because of the sake of measures with the metal I got, I'm not going to worry about that 1/2 degree. What I'll do is I'll put some, when I build the cross member, I'll put some washers under it so I could go positive and negative with this, with shimming. So that'll be close enough. And I also centered the transmission in the frame rails by the center of the output shaft. And what I did was I put a little piece of tape there right in the center, because the engine can slide back and forth, but this metal will not move. It's staying there because I already moved this back and forth, and the metal just stays. So this is where we're at. I bolted these down solid, and what I'm going to do next is just try to pull the take a little bit of weight off the engine and pull the bolts out, make sure I can reinstall the engine. So I'll do that now, and we'll get back with you on the next step. I'm just going to be doing some marking out and getting stuff ready, and then we'll check back. All right, as far as a wrap up here, mounts are all in. I ended up, all right, let me back up a little bit. On the driver's side, I ended up using the lower hole as a guide for the top bolting of it. And then I did that on this side as well. But I found with the mounts I have, which, I mean, they could be all the same, it did not work out. The mount was cocked that way on the back. So what I did was I had to pull the bolts out, and then I used a crescent wrench. I put a bolt in through the back, used a crescent wrench, and lightly pulled on the mount to kind of bend it into submission. It was, it just needed, all these frames are going to be a little different because of the way that it mounts on the back pad. It probably goes back to the reason they say don't put it on loose. But the thing is, once you tighten it, the mount's going to go wherever you want it. So my suggestion is tighten down the bottom bolts in the back tight where you want them, and then massage the mounts where you need it, because once you bolt it in and you tighten it up, it's not going to stay. It's gonna shift, and then the bolts are going to be all stuck, and it's going to be a pain in the ass. A little tech tip is, if you take a mounting bolt as I'm knocking everything over, let's just grab a random bolt here. So a 7/16 bolt, pretty much the normal go-to. Sometimes if you have mounts that are a little fussy, we'll say, what I do is I'll put a nut on here, and then I'll take it over to my grinder and I'll grind a cone shape at the end of this at the end of the bolt. And then what I'll do is I'll back the nut off to rethread it, and then I'll put this in the vise and then run a tap through it just to make sure that everything's good. So this way, when you go to drive the bolt in, you kind of have like a tapered end to kind of weasel its way around, because these mounts have rubber in them, so they move around a little bit. So that might be a good tip for you guys to do. And let me see here. So the part number from POL is MMB5557. That's the part number for the engine mount kit. And comes with detailed instructions that I told you not to really listen to. But this wraps this up. And the other thing too is one more thing to add before we take off is make sure you have your trans mount where you want, because your engine, if you have it not on the angle it belongs, it's gonna mess all this up anyway. So that's why I got this all on. I actually clamped the metal down, marked center from the transmission to the mount as I showed you earlier, some tape. This way if it moves a little bit you could see. All right, so I got the motor mounted in here. I did drop a video on how to install bolt-in style motor mounts. And anyway, check that one out. We're going to be utilizing some box tubing back there, this cross member, and a flurry of other pieces. We're going to construct a 4-link system and a simulated X member on this chassis, because this is the convertible chassis. And before we get there is we got to cut off all these old mounts. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a kicker. It's got some rivets and some welds and you name it. So we're going to take all these mounts off, and then cutting this old transmission mount that was on here. I don't know what was mounted in here, but this was way back. I have the 3/4 inch forward mounts mounted in here, and so let's get at it and let's start cutting. Yeah, a lot of these little brackets got to come off, so let's get rolling here. I'm not going to bore you with everything. We will show you us cutting some of this stuff, but not everything. So I got this mount off on this side, and I did it pretty quickly. And there's, at the end of the day, it has to get cut off. There's probably many different ways people do it, but I'll show you what I did, and it was pretty quick. Was it correct? Sure, it was. Is it the only way? No. But you know what? Come along for the ride. Let me get you in the tripod here. And let's start attacking this thing here. Sorry for all the bounciness. All right. Make sure you wear all your gloves and safety stuff. So what I did first was I cut it along here, along the frame real carefully. Try not to cut into the frame. And then what I did was I cut up in here. And then what I did was I used a chisel and pried this down, and then I cut it with a reciprocating or sawzall. So let's get rolling. Now that those are off, you could grind off the piece of metal that were welded on, get it smooth. My chassis is probably going to dip into this area as well, so I do want to get that nice and flat, and so it looks right. All right. Well, I have a lot of other mounts all cut off, but I'm still not done. Well, we got all the unwanted brackets removed from the frame. What I did also was mark the centers of the front of the leaf spring mounting bolt. There's a giant hole there for the bolt anyway, but I marked center, so when I measure back to my rear, I'm kind of thinking that's going to be my center line for adjustment. Got the rear mounts off. I still need to grind down some of the lumps here though, but I'm pretty much done for the day. Got to get some stuff done in the house, and but this is a good place to leave off for today, and we'll continue on. Happy motoring, and if I didn't say it in the beginning, which I don't think I did, please like, share, and subscribe. We like to work on these videos and everything, and it's much nicer to have even more and more people. Hey, drop comments on here and let me know how I'm doing, or if you think I'm being a hack. It doesn't matter. I love it all. So everything else worked out good. Just had to do a little shifting around. The last thing I'm going to do, which we don't really need to bore you with, is I got to re-drill that one hole there. That's after I pull the motor out. Everything else is tightened. So anyway, that's it. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.